Greetings and welcome to Factorio. I'm Dgray, and today we continue our entry level to Megabase, and we are directly where we left off before. So what I want to focus on this episode in terms of getting the base up and running is getting our smelting arrays up and running with iron and copper, and then funneling all of this down to make of science even. Let's just craft a few more miners and start to hook up, what's it called, a lot more of this coal. And let's just shift this over a small amount, since as it is right now, it is producing a bit more coal than we need. At least these are. So let's just hook up some miners to manage this part. There we are. Hopefully that'll supply us enough to fill both the belts. And let's just fill the rest of this. So, looking at the smelting array as one of the most important starting things to build. If you want to make it somewhat future-proof, let's do a ratio that will work. As it is right now with crafting speed 1, we'll need 48, if I'm not mistaken, of what's it called, the furnaces, and we'll need to fill one what's called red or yellow belt. As soon as we upgrade to steel ones and a red one, that will still be the correct ratio. So if we make it 30 or 48 long, we will be able to future-proof ourselves quite a bit in terms of being efficient with our space. So let's just set that up first. Nice and easy, just like this. Here we go. Give it some power. Give it some belts. And let's just have this run and create quite a bit of iron for us at the moment. That is kind of what I'm looking for. So, one thing I also want to set up, while I remember, is all of our mining things down here, all our crafting things, so we don't have to do it in the future. Let's get our poles over here and have that as our baseline for things we need. Might actually do this instead and having underground and splitters and our two types of inserters right here, just to have it set up. So this is still moving around. Let's just go supply some of all the iron and copper we have built up to our small production area up here, and get ready to fill the rest. There we are. We should have quite a bit of things stored up, so this should be fine. There we are. And fill those. So let's set up a second smeltery array down here. One is gonna make iron, the next one is gonna make copper. So if we do one right next to this one, that'll be completely fine. And to do that, let's just remove this part. So we have room to copy paste this. Just putting it in right here. And as you can see, it fits in perfectly. And will allow us to pretty much just, if you do this for example, take it over here. Go down and hook up the coal again. This will just mean we'll need a copper input right here. And the iron can go maybe a bit further up, just to make sure we have enough room. So let's just craft a few things. Luckily we have quite a bit of belt on us, so it's not that bad to do. And this will supply us what we need for quite a while. Here we are. And what you guys should always remember is to keep an eye on your supply of items, or raw resources. Since if you run out, it will be a huge hassle to get it up and running again. Also, one thing I just noticed, and I probably forgot to tell you, if you hover over your ghost blueprints and press Q, you'll get the pipette tool and you'll get the items from the inventory. That way it's quite easy to switch between items without having to go into inventory or use the shortcuts. Let's just do this. Whoops. There we are. And good. So right here we have most of our copper smelting setup. So we have both iron and copper running. Let's also activate the next science. Might as well go for the green one, or logistic science. So we have that one done when we have the setup here for it. So now we need to move down a bit of copper production. Let's just do it like this. I know it's a bit messy, but we will clean this up in the future. For now, I just kind of want our copper to flow in and get produced here so we can dismantle the rest we have up top. So let's just take it this way. Hopefully this is good enough for what we need. And hook up a small amount of copper miners as well. And I kind of want to let it go probably north so we can filter out this area a bit. I think that'll be quite good. So let's take it this way. Just take it around and connect it up right there. You can go this way to connect it up. And now we have a bit of copper flowing in as well. That means we have automated iron, we have automated the copper, we have automated the coal. And the last thing we need is stone, but that can wait a little while. So first things first, let's just plan out, what's it called? 48 of these. We have 12, so we need this times 4. So if you take this and say 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the range or the size of our race if you want to have a full belt of each. That means that we can start our main bus just below this. And I think if we just line it up right here, I think somewhere around here might be good. Then we can, let's see if we can make room for 10. 1. This is going to be iron or copper. 2 in between for the underground belts. That's going to be iron or copper. Then we can do some with green circuits as well. And a few other things. Oh, that's one too big, sorry. There we go. And let's hook up a few more. This way we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we make it 10 wide right now, we can go downwards, always build on the left side. So right here, if we just start expanding out this way, hopefully we have enough room down here below. But that way we can just build this way and always expand to the right with our main bus if needed. It's a good thing to remember to do, and that's why I set it up like this. So, time to hook up some belts going all the way through. Not that we need it hooked up right away, but to get a somewhat simple mall and things up and running, I think it would be quite good. So let's take the iron over here. To do that, we'll probably need a small kind of balancer. We can pretty much just start it here. And I'm leaving a bit of room just to make sure that we have enough. Oh. Let's remember to make it correct. Oh, is that a new deconstruction sound? It sounds a bit like it, but I'm not sure. Let's do it like this. I've done it so many times before that I've almost forgotten how to do it. But a lane balance is always good to do, since without that you will be in somewhat of an issue. I'm just trying to remember how to craft them. Up here and down. So that means if something comes in here, call it A, then it'll be A and A. This will go down here. Oh, was that correct? Probably need one balancer in between these for it to split out correctly. So in here it goes to this one goes to these two. And then we pretty much need to do something else. Oh well, I'll set it up in just a minute when I can remember how to do it. It's a bit silly, I've done so many of them. Oh yeah. Well, we'll fix it in just a minute. That's just silly that I can't remember. So, for now, let's just pull it down to the area down here. Taking this one will probably be the outside one. So going into right here. We'll sort out all this balancing in just a minute. But for now, we'll just have our entire main bus running this way. Time to collect a ton of iron. Let's get some copper as well. And let's set up, or pretty much move most of this down south. We have no reason to have it here anymore. Let's just get the mining speed one just to get it out the way. That's always nice. And let's pick up all of this. And let's start to go down and set up some small little setup. So one of the first things I want to make is pretty much our electronic circuits. It's good to have, and it's nice to have on the main belt. So we can start with that, or we can start with, what's it called? Automation science. Automation science, luckily, is quite simple to set up. So let's just drag things down here. On this one, we'll need it on this side. So you can pretty much just go right here. 1, 2. And hook you up this way. So now we have iron and copper on the main bus. Everything's running very smoothly. So let's just get it fixed. Let's see if we can't build a balancer now, if I remember. It annoys me quite a bit that I don't. Quite sure it's here. Quite sure with the underground to there and there. And I can't remember if you need something like that. It looks wrong, but hopefully it's somewhat right. We will see in just a minute where all these things go. Let's just empty this one out and see. Yeah, it seems like this is correct. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But at least this is balancing to all 4 sides. So let's just do the same one over here. There we are. And crafty, crafty, crafty. There we are. That should balance it all out evenly. So now we have our copper and we have our iron flowing in. So let's craft what we need here. Let's just quickly make a few of these so we can mark out the area. That would be quite nice. So let's just do a quick and dirty one. Oh. Didn't I just say that we would do it on the opposite side of main bus? Oh, not the main bus, but the crafting, mostly because we'll probably run into water down here. That might annoy us in the future. Oh well, hopefully we'll have enough room for what I want to make here. If not, we'll just make some landfill to fill in this little lake. That should be fine. So let's just mark out this area. I love to make a little walkway where things can go across. Should fit with one belt, as it does, and then we just pretty much need enough to fill it out. So this will be our line down where things will come in, and then we'll start to make our smeltery or science over here. Hopefully this doesn't come back and bite us in the behind, that we did it like this. So let's go this way. I want you to make gear wheels for me. And that's because I want to make 1 science per minute. And this is a quite good place to get that going. So as you can see, if we start by automation science pack, it's a 5-second craft. That means we need 5 of these to supply it. And this one can supply 5 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5. Get this one down. Let's get some inputs. Let's get our science up and running so we can really start to get this research going. Right here we'll have a small nick in this one. So pretty much iron coming in here. We will have our copper going in just like that. And this will turn this way, and this will go like right here. Meaning that now we can have both coming in. This one will grab here and output out. And then we'll have 2 jumps in. We'll have a copper one. We'll have an iron one. And that should be good enough. So let's see if we can't split it off. We need the copper right here to come in. Just like here. Then we need the iron one. A small splitter right here. We'll jump one across. And have it flow in just like this. Oh, just like that, sorry. And then it will continue along and we still have our 4 belts. So to add a small amount of power to this and get it up and running. There we go. Just need to drag the power pole all the way down here. But in theory, this should allow us to have everything we need. Our propriety to the right, sorry, to the left, same here. So now this will get supplied with the iron it needs. That'll output the gear wheels. This will get the copper plates, and it will get the gear wheels. That means we just need a little output out here, down to some cyanide slabs, and then we should be quite good. So that's actually not looking too shabby. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then to go further from this, we will pretty much have to make all of our green signs next to it. But that means we'll have to set up, what's it called, some electronic circuits. And that might be one reason why we should move this down a small amount. Just to make that a bit easier to manage. Since the green circuit is pretty much the basis of a lot of these. But we can always run one the other way back and down. So hopefully it won't be too bad. So let's set up green science as well. We will need 6 of them. Let's just drag the power pole up now and get some power in. To be honest, we can actually just drag it over this way and move it in a bit. But this way we can hook it all up to a centralized power supply. So that means we're actually producing red science now. And working quite quickly towards the green one. So look at that, this one is probably just missing a fast inserter. So let's just give it one of these. That should solve our issues. There we are. And now this should supply each other with enough gears to keep this going. Might need a fast out as well. I can already tell that, since this one can't keep up. Down here though, we will need a few other things. And that is actually first things first, setting up the input for these. They will need belts and they will need inserters. So what I want to set up is some way of supplying this with those things. What I normally do, if we just look at this, is do one of these. So this one will supply this one, and then we'll have the belts here. That will supply the belts we need for the setup. So that means we might have to move it out a bit. Let's just see what the correct way is. Yeah, let's move it back a bit. Might spend a bit of room, but I want to have the inputs correctly when we do this. Let's just see to be sure, because this one needs the same. So we can share an iron input for those two, and then we pretty much just need electronic circuits in. So what if we do something like this? This one produces what's it called, 2 a second. This one needs 1 or 2 a second, and this one needs 2 a second. So they each need 1, and that should be quite fine. I kind of want the output to go right here in the middle. So do something like this, and then we have the inputs going from somewhere else. So if input here and here having an iron built in, we'll also have an iron built in over here, but also what's it called, a green circuit one. Guessing the green circuit could be a mixed belt. It shouldn't need more than half, so it should be fine. So you can do a mixed belt in here. I think that could be quite cool. Haven't done that before, but I think it would work wonders. So let's hook up this one. We'll do the outputs. Oh. And we'll do the other outputs right here. Then we'll do an input and an input, where this one will be a mixed belt of what's it called, green circuits and iron. So let's drag the iron belt down for now, just to hook that up. Let's grab a few gear wheels, just to help craft a bit. And to be honest, just to get this off the ground, let's just set up a small belt production right here, or maybe even up here, just to speed up the process a small amount. I don't really want to craft too many things by hand, and belt is one of the things we can fix. So please give me build production, and iron gear. So please do that, that, and into a chest. Let's just get this up running. And gear wheels. So here we are. That is just a small iron production going. We'll give it 2 blue ones just to get it working as fast as intended. And now we can actually start to set up our green circuits just below this one and merge one line into here, and the rest just pretty much going down. Let's see. The way I want to do it is, if we do it right here, this will be our copper coming in. Then we want 3, just like this, I think, and then we'll have 1, 2 right here. I think we can move them closer to each other. I can't remember. Let's just check. So this one shares to these 2. This one goes to this one. This one goes to that one. But it looks quite ugly, so let's just space it out a bit more so it looks a bit more symmetrical. There we are. That will most definitely work. But since we're down here, let's just copy our little setup from up top and make it look a bit better. Or at least craft a few things so we don't have to handcraft this much. 1, 2, 3. Green circuits. Oh, we only need 2, sorry. Oh, we can actually do 3 instead. No, we're setting it up. It's fine. We'll have it done in just a second. This one, green circuits. Then we will have in. And then we will go with an output built. What I normally do is on the side, since we'll need this for, what's it called? The iron coming in, this one is needing. So if we do it like this, we'll have iron flowing right here to here. I think it's fine, and then we can do the same to rise here for now, and hopefully make something that's somewhat modular. In, and then we just need a few things to work before we have all the copper we could need. So power, and power? Huh. That looks quite good. We'll probably have to do some power over here anyway, so it might not be needed to have one here. But instead we can do it there and there. That looks somewhat good. So let's drag things down. Let's grab ourselves some more belts. That's slowly being made right here. And now we can pretty much just drag these down and hook them up and get all the green circuits in the world. So first things first, let's jump in the copper. We'll have to jump into right here, I think. So pretty much jump from here to there. Nope, that is... Oh, did it? Oh, I did it right. I just need to move it over 1. Here to here, that's 4. Flip it around, get the copper in. That means we have iron flowing here, copper flowing here. Split up, brought it to the right. And that goes in. Then let's just move our little power line up this way and hook it up to all the things right here. So look at that. That means green circuits is almost being produced. The last thing we need is pretty much just hooking up this one. And then we have a somewhat good system going, where we will produce a ton of green circuits and don't have to worry about this anymore. So what we want to do now to get this back on the main bus is doing some lines here in the middle where we have things flowing out. I kind of want to do it with more splitters, so you split in right here, and same with over here, and then we'll have one right here where it splits in as well. So you go in right there instead. That means that you can actually flow down, but I might want it a bit different than this because we have all our iron going there. So what if we move 2 belts in, 2 belts out, then we can do a merge in the middle, or merge right here and merge in right there. I think that looks somewhat good, and then we can do the same on the opposite side, and I'll show you why in just a minute. And that is quite great what we're about to do. That means we can copy your part down here. Get a few more of these. No need to craft so many greens because now we have them flowing. Here and there. And just hook these 2 up. So now we'll have 2 belts of green circuits coming out. And that is exactly what we want. These will probably need some fast inserters, but for now this is looking quite good. So to make sure that this gets to a bit more production, since we know we'll need a lot of green circuits, then we can pretty much just steal this little setup here, flip it around and hook it up right here. Like that. I know it can probably be a bit more compact, but I like the look of this, so let's keep it like this for now. So as one of the last things this episode, let's just get this production done, so we at least have the green circuits flowing. That is my #1 priority at the moment. A bit sad I didn't move it above this one, but yeah. Like you guys, I am still learning as well. And like I said in the first episode, it's been quite a while since I've done a vanilla one. And one thing I know, probably better than most, is that you learn from your mistakes more than anything. So let's just hook this up. You'll go that way, you'll go that way. And then we just need 1 in from up here. Pretty much take you to right here, that all fits. That looks way off. Could actually move this one up here instead then. There we are. Oh, is that not connected anymore? Huh. Wonder how I messed that up. Oh, it's because this is... Yeah, I was like, how did I mess that up? So right here, to there, and something like that to make it expandable down. So lastly, let's just hook up this side and then we'll end the episode. Hopefully you're enjoying it as much as I am. It's been so long since I've done one last that it is quite enjoyable, if I must say. Let's just steal this little part here. There we go. That's a good thing to know as well. You can always just blueprint things down to make sure you have them lined up correctly. And there we are. And hook you up. Oh, I'm out of belts. And then we're quite close to having our science up and running as well. And so far the base is looking quite good. We have most of things being produced. That is so nice to see. And we almost have everything hooked up in terms of getting this running. Can we hook it up some good way? That looks somewhat nice. That means we just have to do that. And voila. Now we have green things flowing in quite efficiently. And look at that, now we can just craft things quite fast. So that's our green circuit setup for now. That just needs to go back on the main bus before we continue. So as I was saying, I think this is a somewhat good place to stop. We got our green circuits up and running. We have this hooked up at the start of next episode. We have our main bus going. So yeah, smelter arrays as well. So that's actually very nice. So hopefully you'll like and subscribe. That will help me out a ton. And as always, I've been Dgray, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye guys.